WEFM, the new fresh sound.
Voice of the Man Bongo Prime representing for Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9.
WhatsApp us or call us at 457-9997. Rise and shine. Let's get ready to take on the day. Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
Hey, hey, hey. It is indeed Friday, and we are happy over here, all right? All right, so good morning to everybody. I don't know how many persons look forward to Fridays. I do, although it's not so bad as in years gone by in terms of looking forward to it. But yeah, I still do look forward to it in some ways, all right? Just so that I don't have to wake up very early in the morning. That's the only real reason, all right? Not to have to wake up so early in the morning. And just want to hope that everybody is doing just fine. Whatever it is that today is going to be for you, you're going to face it head on, all right? Face it head on. And yeah, let's welcome some positivity just in case, all right? Just in case. I know sometimes we predict that we're not going to have the best of days, but again, as I said, I think earlier this week, sometimes it all starts within our minds. If we think or we project or we hope or we wish for a good day, sometimes that is what happens, right? In terms of the way in which we would respond to certain things. If we mean to have a good day, we would, sometimes shake off some of the bad vibes that might come along sometimes. All right. So good morning again to everybody. It is back to school jamming. So tongue is going to be busy. So if you need to organize early. All right. Don't be sucking your teeth. Don't be cussing and complaining, because if you had the chance to get out of the house early, do so. All right. You can't be complaining when the power sometimes lies within us. Okay. So Nicole, good morning to you. Hold on.
Whoops. Good morning. Let me start over. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and everyone listening far and wide. And good morning, Roleza. How are you?
I'm good, I know. Not good. It's Friday.
That's the only reason you're good?
Huh?
That's the only reason you're good? Is that the only reason you're good?
No, I'm good otherwise. But good. Yeah, in this present moment, because it's Friday. All right.
Comprendo.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to quickly get into a few things. Good morning to the persons on the live. Good morning to Troublesome Trevor and to Bob. Good morning to you as well. All right, so let's head into a few things this morning. All right, so first up, reading this from the API. So St. Vincent and the Grenadines is set to see major growth in the hospitality sector. One moment. Let's go back again. All right, so St. Vincent and the Grenadines is set to see major growth in its hospitality. Oh, no, I'm actually reading the wrong thing. This is what I'm supposed to be reading. So thousands of intentions lined up at the UE Global Campus over the past 3 days to collect their letters for tuition scholarships for 2025. Government approved over 2,500 applications, an unprecedented number. Successful applicants have until today to collect their letters. The PM said, noted that in 2024, there were just over 2,000 tuition scholarships approved, and added that government increased its allocation for post-secondary and university education from 45 million in 2024 to 60 million in 2025. In terms of higher education, over 2,500 students are enrolled at the 4 divisions of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Community College. St. Vincent and the Grenadines has over 800 students enrolled at the University of the West Indies Global Campus, a significant number at the other campuses of UE. All right. So he says apart from national scholarships, tuition scholarships, bursaries, national award scholarships from allied countries are available, as well as those from universities like Monroe. He added that this year, in addition to the 48 students in Cuba, 41 of whom are studying medicine, another 10 will join them this year in 2025 to pursue studies in medicine. All right. Now, as I've always expressed, that I am all for the advancement of education because it does have the ability to change someone's life. All right. And not just their life, but the life and the circumstances of their family members or those persons who are dependent on them. It has the ability to change their lives. So when it comes to the government policies and things that they implement, this push or this advancement of persons receiving a quality education, I am all for it. And I'm also happy to note that persons who saw the posts or saw the calls going out for persons to apply for the tuition scholarship, that so many of them took advantage of it, right? 2,500 is a significant number for 1 year. Also noting that we have over 800 students enrolled at the various campuses of UWI. This is significant, and it means that we are stepping up in terms of having qualified or certified, educated persons here. Now, yes, I could hear some people talking in the back of my head saying, all right, it's one thing for you to have this education, and maybe in some instances that persons are not being as well paid as they hope to be. But the point is, your education will never leave you. And there's nothing to say that you have to stay here even after you have completed your studies. All right. Persons leave for various reasons. Persons also come back and stay for various reasons. But your education stays with you. Nobody could ever take that away from you. All right. So for this, I am all for it. And I am quite happy to see this. Nicole?
It is remarkable. Education takes us out of poverty. It takes us out of situations and circumstances where we can rise above so many challenges. So I am really thrilled to see 2,500 is a remarkable number of people. And yes, they can go, some can go abroad if they think that there are more opportunities abroad. But my thing is, stay home and also use what you have experienced and created to recreate and reimagine and re-energize the environment in which you are. So congratulations and kudos to all those who made the effort. You see, there's something about making an effort that really goes a long way. And so congratulations.
And with that as well too, because I note that there are times when persons see like these type of scholarships out, and it happened with a friend of mine. But it wasn't for the tuition scholarship, it was a different scholarship, I think. They taught themselves out saying they're not going to get through, right? And that person who actually said that to me once, I said, go and apply. He applied on the very last day and he got through. So there are times when we talk ourselves out of things thinking, it's only certain people going to get this or that, or I'm not good enough, or I'm not going to qualify. The point is, unless you put in that application, you will never know what the outcome could possibly be. All right. Absolutely. Everything is always a 50-50 chance. All right. You're either going to get through or you ain't going to get through. But if you don't send it in, how would you know if you are going to get through? All right. So I'm happy that persons responded, and as a result have been successful with this. So kudos to all of you starting your journey or continuing your journey in education. More power to you. Quite happy for many, many, many of you. All 2,500 of you plus. All right, so let's just quickly touch on something else as well. Not so pleasant. All right. We note here on St. Vincent Times, for every time I line up my stuff, they just jump and go somewhere else. Where is my story? All right. On St. Vincent Times, it noted that a journalist was threatened. All right. So seasoned journalist, and by season because he's been around for a while, journalist Ashford Peters receives a death threat. Now, in a troubling or a deeply troubling development of press freedom in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, journalist Ashford Peters of CIBS News has reported receiving a serious threat to his life, raising urgent concerns about media safety and professional intimidation. Peters, who also works for the news newspaper, disclosed the alarming threat through his news blog, immediately taking the responsible step of reporting the matter to law enforcement authorities. While specific details of the threat remain confidential to protect the ongoing investigation, the incident underscores the potential risk journalists face while performing their critical public service. All right. So threats against journalists are not just attacks on individuals, but direct assaults on press freedom and the public's right to information. Each such incident sends a chilling message and can create an environment of fear and self-censorship. All right. So it's just something that I wanted to note. I oftentimes wonder how some journalists do it, how they make it. And certain media persons, especially the ones who are a bit controversial, we should not, or they should not be living in an environment of fear, right? If you have a job, especially as a journalist, you're supposed to be reporting on the facts. And the thing of it is that some persons are not always going to like it, especially when it comes to, let's say, family members or even they themselves being placed in the media. But if something has happened, something has happened. And it is a journalist's right to report and to inform us as a public as what is happening. Oftentimes we would comment about things being hush-hush. But if a journalist, not because he's in fear of his life, is afraid to report on certain things, then what is that going to say about the society in which we live? Are we going to be a well-informed community? Are we going to know of, let's say, things that persons have been doing in our community so that we can stay alert from our own end? We cannot have a society of fear where journalists, just in the execution of their jobs, are going to be threatened and living in fear. All right. So I am hoping that, well, not that I'm hoping, I believe that the authorities are going to look into this very seriously. And I am hoping that Mr. Peters, despite the threat to his life, is going to continue in his vein, in the vein of work that he's doing, but of course, take the necessary precautions. All right. So just something to note with that. Nicole, anything? Sorry, yeah.
Well, actually, yes, because it also hinges on democracy. And when something like this happens, you wonder, what is that voice going to be like or look like in the absence of the freedom to say and to share information inside of a public domain. And so it really hinges as well on democracy. And the safety of any journalist should not be something that we have to think about. We were talking about, it's pretty much slightly aligned to what we were talking about on Wednesday, when we were talking about in conflict zones, what happens to journalists. But we're talking about living in a peaceful environment. Why does this have to be something we now have to deal with or address?
Okay.
And I do hope his safety is not compromised.
Mm-hmm. All right. Anything else, Trent, that you want to touch on very quickly?
Yes, I want to talk about peace.
Okay.
I'll tell you this. Well, first of all, I want to find out. I have a question to ask. And it's really from a humanity point of view. I want to know when did we get this way? When did we become insensitive? And this is now, I'm speaking globally here, and then I'm going to narrow it down to us, right? Mm-hmm. When did we as a people, I'm talking about, when did we lose our compass around compassion? 2 days ago, a prime minister fell at a public event. And the response and the comments on social media have been, I can't describe it well. They've been nauseating. They've been unkind. They've been truly, truly unforgiving comments. And I'll tell you this, it doesn't matter your political persuasion, which party you're aligned to, your allegiance, your love, your kinship. It does not matter where you stand. A human has fallen. a leader fell, and the right thing to do is to be compassionate.
All right. So what we're going to do, we would take up that question a little after 7:45. Okay.
Cool. We're gonna do that.
Yeah, we will do that. All right. So that's our topic. Part of our topic. When did we lose our sense of compassion? All right. And time right now, which is 7:35, and we are going to jump directly into today's traffic talk.
Nothing else sounds as good as WEFM.